So y'all know how I told y'all we're kind of a revival channel. Me and Dad finally picked up something we've been after for a long time. I did a video on it. Almost have to now that I posted this, but out here in Oklahoma we found a Vega. And it's a station wagon, which is the best. And it's a GT. Pretty sure they got an Iron Duke 4-cylinder in it. Probably a 4-speed. I don't think it'd be a base model 3-speed. Haven't really looked at it too much. Just loaded it, just got down the road from the guy's house. There's a little wall up right there, no big deal. Floor pans feel solid. Beauty rings are in the car. Missing trim there, missing trim on the other side. That balance is on it, but it is missing the back balance. Right here, I don't know if the sun's blocking y'all or what, but now here's a catch-22. Hood cable is broken, so when I see the engine is when y'all see the engine, and we're just gonna hope and pray. Got the fold down back seat. It's a 4-speed GT car. Paint will clean up nice. Anyway, just want to give y'all a heads up. So I told y'all we wasn't about to see it before y'all, so we finally got the latch undone. This thing, we made it off of a YouTube video, but kind of a pain in the ass to get in there underneath that cow. Go ahead, Chance. Let that thing. Hey, nice and complete. I'm almost positive that's an Iron Duke. If the side head is flat, then it's an Iron Duke. Yep. So that's what they call an Iron Duke 4-cylinder. Timing belt on the front, which this one should be easy. We can just hold it together and then pull the belt off of it if we want to. That's locked. I tried pulling the crank earlier. But anyway, at least it's unmolested with the carburetor hat on it, so that's a plus. This might be on the end of the video. We might go back, you know, you'll see this at the end versus at the start. Hence why it's dirty. Me and Dad do this a lot. Roosevelt, we've known about it, or Dad's known about it since he married my mom. It was out in the back pasture. We ended up picking that car up, getting it back running. All we did was wash it, clean it, buff it, and it's back in driving form. I mean, granted we did a bunch of engine work on it, but we don't like to take these cars and save them and put them back on the road and then kill them in our own driveway. So this car is gonna be a first, maybe hopefully a channel car if y'all like it. I mean, that's our big push here. We love them. It's in the perfect color. But with that being said, we like to clean our cars first. It's gonna be backwards from everybody else. We're waiting on parts. I got some ordered for Wednesday to go ahead and get it back started up and fired up. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and wash the car. We're gonna get the inside, clean it all out. It's got rat poop in it. I don't like to lay down in dirty carpet and troubleshoot things. I don't want to be in there with a glove box full of rat shit. Under the seat's probably terrible. Plus all the glass is dirty. But we just like to get in there and clean them up. So I'll put the GoPro in the car. Dad will start cleaning it like he's always has. He does interior clean outs for the start. He'll get all the poop and twigs and paperwork if there's any in there out of it, and I'll start pulling plugs, wires, get the engine freed up, and then once we get ready to go on that side, we'll just flip-flop everything up here and all hands on deck to get the engine fired up, make sure it's cooling, let it idle and come all around. We'll check all our fluids, grease the thing, check the brakes. We do know it has brakes because when we unloaded it, it did stop itself here, but we do have some drum grinding back there. It's probably just rust on the pad, or rust on the drum, and the pad just eating it away at the moment, but we're gonna check it just in case. Might pull the fuel tank already and just look at it. It does have surface rust on the outside. I'm sure it's rusted on the inside, so we'll just get there and do that. But again, we really like to get these clean because, sorry, but nobody likes to be shitty and dirty and nasty and feeling that carpet in your face or in your ears or the dust on the car. We just like to get them clean and perfect before we start tearing into them. Also, why do you want to grind in a layer of sand and dirt into paint that will probably come back and be pretty, but then you'll have a scratch down the door or on the fender because you wanted it to look good on video versus clean the thing up and make it look pretty and then lean against here and not scratch anything. But again, that's our game plan. I'm real big into greasing A-arms and the whole front end. There's no reason not to grease them. It's super simple. Grease them, make them last. That way you don't have to replace the ball joint because one was dry and you just didn't want to take the time and grease it. We'll check all fluids again. I just said that, but rear end fluid, we check it right away. We check, you know, we're going to make sure you got antifreeze and oil and everything at once before we fire it. That way when it does fire, everything's happy, everything's cooling. We don't have a transmission that's dry and grinding gears away. We don't have a water pump that's trying to eat through rust and gunk. All that stuff should be fresh and ready to go. That way, for the 5 minutes it's running, initially, we know that it's not knocking, we know that it's cooling, and we know that the misfire that we're having is actually a misfire and not a stuck valve or any. But again, it's going to be backwards from all the revival videos y'all see on YouTube. So again, guys, here's the reasons. So who wants to work in that kind of nonsense all the time? So again, whoa, about to shut the hood on myself. We like to clean them, blow all this out. I'm not a big fan of washing engines, just never have been. We'll probably wash this one up just a little bit so we can get in here and not feel disgusted. But first things first, I'm gonna pull these plugs out. All the wires are ate off by rodents. Again, I ordered all this new. Yeah, sure, could we fire it up with the old points and everything in it? Probably, and Dad told me I need to. Let's just fire it and see what it sounds like, and then we'll replace them. But all that's on order. So once it does fire, I'll pull all this crap back off. We'll put new points and cool and everything in it. New plugs, new wires, the whole 9 yards. That way, again, you're gonna do it anyway. Might as well have it on order. At least it's in the shop at that point. Let's pull these out. I'll bore scope it. I, being super cheap, have an Ames bore scope. You're probably not gonna be able to see what I'm looking at. We're gonna try it, but hopefully those are all pretty dry. Everything, like I said, it's got the cap, the hat on it. Shouldn't have got moisture in there. It's gonna have a little bit of moisture creep. Probably at least 2 of these valves are open right now. So there might be 1 or 2 that's gonna be nasty. We're gonna put Marvel in it. Marvel's the best thing we've ever found to do it. But I'll pick you back up then. Okay, so shooting some PB down on top of all those. That way we clean threads as we come out. I'm gonna give Dad the phone. Again, we're fixing to clean this car, so this is just sitting here baking if it's dirty. Once we pull those, y'all see me pull them out. We'll put the bore scope in them, we'll look at them. If they're nasty, we're gonna let them bake for, I mean, we'll let them bake until Wednesday, until the parts come in. Wednesday morning, Andy comes back home, and we'll try to fire it on Wednesday. But let's just get these open. That way, if they need to bake for a couple days, we're ahead of the game. Perfect. As y'all can tell, that timing on this thing was pretty turned up before they quit it, I guess. The plug looks great. There is a little bit of rust jack in here, but nothing to be alarmed about. There's no rust sitting on it. It's not rusted up here onto its electrode or nothing. So, but if y'all notice, it's the green AC Delcos.
Old.
Yep, that's probably, I would bet you, a stock plug. If not a stock plug, definitely from the 80s, that minimum. But anyway, we'll pull out the rest of them. Here's the rest of the plugs. This is number 2. Again, a good burn on it. A little bit of rough jacking. Nothing too major. This one was definitely fouled. Maybe that's why they parked it. Maybe they didn't know they had a fouled plug. I know a bunch of old timers that change one plug at a time and never really adjust anything. So maybe they fouled that one. Maybe it was an old lady. Maybe it was a college student. Maybe they didn't know anything. This is number 4. This is the worst one. I know the camera's not focusing. You see that green tint on it? It definitely got moisture in that cylinder there. Doesn't look like too much. You're not seeing a lot of rust jacking inside of it and up it. So hopefully it's just a little bit of moisture in that cylinder. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna try to show y'all on this bore scope what the cylinder looks like. That is a very tip top of the piston, so it's up on TDC, which I'm guessing it probably has an intake valve open. But again, that's the piston on the right hand side. Let's see if I can get this to slide up and go to the cylinder wall. That right there, you can see very bottom left hand corner, that's the side of the cylinder wall, and that white stuff is moisture by the piston. Nothing that we're seeing scares us whatsoever. We'll just let this one bake. We'll go to number 3 now, if we can get it in there. That also has rust, but nothing too major. 3, again, really crappy camera views, but that's not bad. It is piled up right there. We'll probably let that float out with a bunch of marble. I don't mind marble going down the side of the block, so no big deal there. We'll push that out. Number 2. Number 2 looks perfect, actually. Oh yeah, number 2 is perfect. Number 1 also has a little bit down on the bottom of the piston there towards the cylinder wall, no big deal. That's also rust and corrosion, but all in all, just fine. Marble will float that stuff out. Once we float it out, we'll let it sit and bake. And like I said, we're gonna let this thing bake for till Wednesday, which is today is Sunday, so 3 days, give or take. I won't crank on it unless it's on camera, because again, we're hoping this one kind of has a channel car vibe to it. Again, we love this thing, so we're gonna drive it and I'll haul around my baby in it. Thing's a unit. Is at the top. I think it's at the back. We got mist sticking all of them. We'll put the plugs back in before we blow it. We're gonna blow this with air, probably for right now. So put the plugs back in it and let it sit. So we decided we're gonna go ahead and pull out these front seats, get them out of Dad's way. That way he can come in here and start cleaning up all this junk that's in the car. One thing that we found, which is pretty neat, is right here, laying in the back floorboard. Apparently those are cigarettes, unopened, just rats eating. We'll put that up on the shelf as a, I don't know, a token, I guess. A token to the car to make sure she runs right. Anyway, there's a bunch of crap in there. Get these seats out of the way, and then we can come in here and really see what's underneath these seats. See how good the floor actually is. We'll probably end up pulling the front carpet piece out, which you can see it splits right here. The back one probably should come out, so we'll just see how bad it is once we actually get there. All right, guys, took the liberty, grab those 4. All 4 of them come off them seats, impacted. I want to take the time and show you all these floorboards just from being under the car now it's in the shop. Perfection. You can't complain about that, so I guess we'll just pull the carpet up knowing that we're not going to find any surprises. Exhaust. Damn, it's actually pretty clean under there. Yeah, I'm liking that so far. Like I said, all 4 bolts come out. What you're hearing is this seat actually cracking and giving away. We'll go ahead and pull this out too. Again, all this is for ease, for Dad to get in here and start cleaning. We can Get everything up in here nice and clean. Versus drilling the back lockout, we're gonna take this access panel off, see if we can't get to the latch. If we can, we'll go ahead and open the hatch up. All right, so apparently someone's already been in here, or this section is broke from this section. So we're gonna take a big flat screwdriver and hammer right here. I know you can't see it, but we're gonna take that and bust it loose. All this rust, I'm sure it's locked up. Once we get it open, me and Chance will sit here and we'll grease everything back up, get it working right. Let's unbolt it. All right, guys, we're gonna unbolt it right here. Get these two off, and we'll just pick it up out of there. Yep. So, since we got that open, me and Chance figured out there's a back hatch underneath this great carpet that we're just gonna go ahead and throw away. It's back hatch.
Maybe it screws.
I mean, what's it accessing?
It's got to be spare tire.
It does screw. Yep. Hey! That's good on that. Plastic.
Oh, suicide jack.
Yeah, no kidding.
Tire tool.
Jack. Let's get on their TV speakers.
Well, it's still got the plastic plug.
Well, this is a regular old grocery getter.
Put the plastic plug back in it.
Jack hold down still in it. Look at that. Show that on camera. That's perfect. I mean, that looks like rust, but it's not. It's seam seal, and we get in here with a wire brush, and we just black this thing. The rats didn't even chew up the back wire. Here's the jack hold down. Here's the part of it. Just throw it out. We ain't gonna use that anyway. We can put one that little. Walmart has those little 1.5 jacks. It'd be perfect for this car. Look at that bottom.
Oh.
Oh, I'll say that for you. Come on. Back hatch is a little
cancer spots.
Yeah, fine. That's all fine. I mean, my groceries can't get out of that. I can tell you that much. Guys, Dad just said he found the door of that console. There's definitely pills still in it. Mm-hmm. Let's see if it's some Go Fast pills.
We'll try them in a minute.
Oh, this is dangerous. I don't know what that is. That's old trucker pills right there.
Speed.
Gotta be.
What words on it, any?
Yeah, it's printed, so it's probably an actual.
Google it.
Take one. Take one and see.
We'll see what happens to you. We'll watch you.
Let's throw that away immediately. The Vega, boys. They knew how to do it. I told you that time was turned up. This old boy was getting. All right, before we bag this up, it is a 4-speed car. Of course, that's your reverse lockout rod. I just want to show y'all this boot. My brother just said maybe this car was parked more than it's been driven, and I'm starting to believe that. Boot's in perfect shape, no tears. All the insulating foam was still in the boot. I had to pull it up off the floor. It wasn't cracked. In Texas, Oklahoma, all these south states, the sun bakes these cars. So really, this thing was under a tarp when we bought it, but maybe it was tarped its whole life. Dad has found all these pennies and dimes.
74, 72s.
72 pennies, 74 dime.
Got a whole pocket full of it.
Got a whole pocket full of coins in his pocket there. But again, maybe it was parked up. We're gonna get all this clean. I know I told you we was gonna wash it. We're gonna clean the interior out, get it all where we want it, and then we'll back it back out and we'll wash this car up. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. It's disgusting.
I'll tell them what kind of rat nest down in that crack there. Good Lord.
Look at that seat though.
I'm brand new.
They didn't even eat into the foam. They just brought in their own house. Here you go, Dad. They did.
They wasn't their own material. They built their house.
I don't even know. This is not car insulation.
It's like cottonseed or something.
Yeah, look at all them seeds in it. Everybody's gonna freak out because I don't have gloves on digging in rat poop. A regular back seat on a car is the same way. It has one loop here. You push backwards on the seat, pop it up. Usually back here you'll have 2 bolts, and then the seat will fall up out of there. This one, of course, is just held down here and wedged up underneath here. These 2 pieces, they grab onto the spring of the seat, so you can't pull it up in the back, and that just snaps in there. Now, back to what we was saying. Out of all these cars, me, my dad, my brother do, hantavirus has never been an issue with us. We've never gotten sick. We've never gotten anything out of it. Granted, we do wash our hands. We pay attention to what we do after we touch all this crap. We go wash them, whatever, and brake clean them. But me and Dad was talking, maybe because it gets so hot down here in Texas and the southern states, maybe none of this stuff stays wet enough year round and it actually makes it sick. Maybe it dries out through the summer, and then maybe these rats live, here further back than they do up north. We don't know, but this stuff really doesn't make us sick. I might say that now, and tomorrow I wake up and feel like shit. I don't know yet, but that's our theory behind it as of right now. This paperwork come out from underneath the carpet, I guess, is where he found it.
Glove box.
Oh, it's in the glove box. So it is. That's rat poop and pee for sure all over it. Mount of Commerce, Texas. We knew it was a Texas car because we seen the tag still on the car. This tag right here. So it was a Texas tag, and we don't know what kind of 70s psychedelic stuff there. No wonder it had a student employment. So definitely a college student, maybe. Or maybe they were hippies. I don't know. There it goes on the ground. Look at that. You want some menthols?
I think I passed.
Oh, it still smells good. I mean, it still smells like tobacco. Y'all want some hantavirus? Here it is in a stick. Pulled the headliner down. It's pretty warped and out of shape. We expected rat nest or something up here, but I mean, this thing is perfect, really. This roof is spectacular. We'll probably just leave it like this until we decide how we want to put a headliner back in the car. This is just like a PEX board kind of style. But anyway, we had to get it out. We want all the smell out of this car. We want it to be a good driver. Okay, now we got the carpet out, seats out. You can tell how good these floors are perfect, immaculate. There's sound deadening on them. We'll end up probably power washing this thing inside and out just to make sure we don't have any rat smell. This seat's folded down right now. It's in okay shape. Must have been folded down all its life. All this white is just sound deadening breaking loose and probably rat pee. But again, we're gonna wash this whole thing out. The hatch opens. Like I said, they already boogered that up. Back of seat, it was all carpeted. Carpet's gone. We'll probably buy a carpet kit for it if we need to. Under here, we got this all cleaned out and perfect. So she's ready to be washed. So Dad just can't hold his horses no longer. He wants to see what this car looks like. So those 2 bolts are out. I guess he lost his other 2 nuts. I don't know where they're at. Let's see what it looks like. Maybe. How's this thing come apart? Well, I thought it was a lid, but that don't feel right.
probably rusted together.
I got another hold down back here or something. That's what you do. PCV valve will just hold up. Oh, that's great. I wonder if I just dump that on there though. I'm gonna turn this up. There's not a filter element on it. That's not good. Where's the filter element go?
It's right there, sure.
No. Well, let me get a flashlight back in here. Should be in here. And there's not one in there.
Well, you would think there was one in there.
That's not all solid piece. Well, I don't know. That's a Holly. That's great news because I don't know what the heck I'm looking at when I go to that. This right here is your heater core. It comes around here and heats this carburetor for you, which I know that's for atomization. You know, you want Pontiac does it through their intakes. It heats basically the carburetor up, lets the engine warm up, gets the carburetor warm for it. But this is a wild design here. It just loops back down, goes to the block, pushes through here, goes to the heater core. And this is a Holly, more of a monojet. You know, I could probably do a Rochester if I really tried and wanted to. I think they're great carburetors. A Holly, tremendous carburetors over my head. So we'll have to really mess with this one and sit down because it's gonna need some help. Those are froze up. I'm sure the throttle itself is froze up. That's just your choke. That's your choke lever. So we'll just soak all this down in PV. I'm not even gonna give a shit. It'll eat it, burn it, throw it out the exhaust pipe. We ain't worried about that much. We'll go ahead and lube all our linkages and really try to nitpick this carb and see what's going on with it. Lots of wires to it. Well, lots of wires. 3 wires to it, especially in 72. That seems like quite a bit to run a carburetor, but we'll get her figured out. All right, guys, next morning, probably 34 degrees. We're gonna freeze our hands off and wash this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this whole jug inside, scrub it with a bristle brush, get all the rat pee and everything out of the car as much as we can. Again, I'm gonna wash this just a little bit, wash it down. Not gonna go too crazy. Again, I don't like to wash engines. Not what I believe anyway. Again, we'll raise this up and go ahead and wash from the front to the back and make sure it's draining. If we got to pop out those drain plugs, we'll pop them out, but again, no big deal. So I'm fixing to put y'all up here on time lapse. We'll just start scrubbing and washing away on this thing. So guys, you can see this pocket, just like in a door on a regular passenger door, they all have these pockets. Dirt, rats, whatever will fill up in here. So you really need to wash those out and either A, punch holes on the backside so you got drain holes, or make sure your drain holes are actually clear. Chevrolet stamps little drain holes, but they'll clog up with pebbles. So really pay attention to these creases so you don't rust out. Interior is cleaned up. For the most part. I mean, we'll get in there and we'll wipe it all down. Probably get some PB or some WD on it to start kicking back on that water. All come out really clean, really nice. Now for the fun, we can wash the outside. Shit runs downhill. Stop washing those cars from the bottom to the top. Makes no sense. Wash it from the top down. Dirt that's on top of the car runs to the windows. You get the windows next, runs to the doors, get the doors next, runs to the rockers. All goes downhill. Washing it from the bottom up makes no sense to me. I watch a bunch of videos do that. What are you doing? Washing the bottom of the fender, that way when you get to the hood, the dirt runs back down to the bottom of the fender and then you gotta re-rinse it. If you do it from the top to the bottom, you ain't gotta worry about that. As you can tell, the car cleaned up pretty good. Of course, it's still wet, but if we can get a nice cut and buff on that, that paint should come back around almost like that. We did find a tag on the back plate. That's still a sticker, so we know that's before 90 sometime. And we got to looking closer. And we don't know if y'all can see that, but that says 79. So what is that? 45 years off the road. So I might explain why this engine's pretty locked. We did crank on it a little bit more yesterday, but nothing budged. So once this all dries up, we'll get it back in there, open the hood. We might pull the hood off, it get us more room. I'll pull the starter, get on the flywheel, and see if we can't get it to break loose. Again, I'd really like to keep it stock. I don't care to put a 350 in it or a 305 or an LS. I guess I could, but I'd really like it to be just a 4-speed, 4-cylinder grocery getter. I'm gonna jack it up and start attempting to break this engine free. Definitely locked up enough that I got it in gear, I can rock it, and the car's gonna be kind of scary because just me rocking it, I can get that back tire to skid forward. You can tell, well, maybe not back there, but you can tell right here where I had it parked, and I moved it a foot with it all locked up, and it's just skidding these back tires. Let's hope the brakes work good, and maybe not drive it in the rain. We can't break it loose from the crank, so we're gonna go ahead and pull this inspection cover right there. Hopefully we can get a crowbar in between here and that block. Another scary thing we just found was the fact that if you look right up here on the block, remanufactured for Chevrolet. So this engine's definitely been, well, this car definitely had a second engine in it. This must be the second one here. We got it all cleaned out, and now we'll actually, well, let me get the flashlight working. We're gonna grab onto those flywheel teeth and try to bust this thing over. I'm pretty sure the ring gear is separated from the flywheel, Dad. Yeah. Ring gear is separated. So, back to the original plan of pulling on the crank, I guess, on the front of the snout. I don't know. Alright guys, so we got it cleaned up. Interior stripped out of it. It's all sitting over there packaged and get ready to get cleaned, put back in it. We'll probably put some Mexican throw pillows, throw blankets or something on the back seats. We'll put some cheap, on clearance style front seat covers on it. We'll probably go ahead and paint or re-dye that, all the interior panels themselves. Engine's locked tight. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this, but on the back of a late 60s, early 70s, I don't know when Chevrolet stopped doing this, but the flywheel and the ring gear itself is two separate pieces. So this one, I reached back there to try to turn the engine over by the flywheel. The ring gear is broke loose from the flywheel itself. So we will have to pull the transmission off of it. Once we pull the transmission off, I'll show y'all how to, or what it looks like, and show y'all what exactly I'm talking about. This inspection plate on this car is very small. You can't see the clutch, barely see the flywheel, so y'all won't be able to see what I'm looking at. Once we get the transmission sucked off the back of the car, we'll be able to play with it a little bit more. Maybe we can get the brake loose from the back side. The front, on the front pulley, I know a lot of people use a breaker bar. I usually use a pipe wrench and just try not to mar up the pulley too bad. This thing is, she's locked tight. So maybe it's spun a rod bearing and locked up. We don't know yet. We'll pull the engine if we have to, but first off, let's get the transmission sucked off the back of it and actually see what we're working with back there. Again, it's gonna need a flywheel anyway. So once we're in there, if we can get the brake loose, we'll put a flywheel on it. We'll put a new clutch in it, stuff like that. But first, we want to see if this thing will even bust off. I might just put a little weld on each you know, 4 or 5 spots on that ring gear so that it's strong enough to take the spin of a starter. If we get it to break loose, then we can hear it run, and then we'll put the money in the transmission. If this 4-cylinder doesn't run, we can either A, pull it out and rebuild it. We can B, we can put a V8 in it of some sort. Again, I'd like to not put a V8 in it, but if the engine's junk and, you know, at that point, is it worth rebuilding, or is it worth just putting a 350 or 305 or something in it? Again, we'll have to worry about transmission at that point. We'll have to worry about these little bitty rear ends back here. We'll probably shell them pretty easy. So we're gonna have to weigh our pros and cons on the car. Again, great car, straight car. It was a cheap car. We paid $750 for the car, so really we're in it not very much money, and it doesn't bother me either way. If it takes off on YouTube, great. If it doesn't, then me and Dad are gonna keep the car anyway. Like I said, we've been searching for one of these cars for a couple of years now, so perfect candidate to do whatever we want to with it, and we'll let y'all decide how popular the video is, and comment down there, tell me what y'all want to do. If we want to see a V8 go in it, let's put a V8 in it. If we want to rebuild the 4-cylinder, tell me that. I'll rebuild the 4-cylinder, it doesn't matter to me. But again, let's get that squared away. We'll get on that video probably tomorrow, to be honest with y'all. We don't mind working 7 days a week, so we'll start the video back up tomorrow on pulling the transmission out of it and all that nonsense. But this will end this video. I know y'all seen it get cleaned up. Not a very good video, but at least it's a little bit of content for y'all, a little bit of sneak peek on what we want to do with it.